The first step in paint correction is to wash the car. I usually use Dawn. Now if the sealants and waxes are new on your car, you gotta use a strip wash because Dawn will not take it off. But since mine's old, I won't have to worry about that. I always go in straight lines. If you do circular motions, it will cause more swirl marks. And I usually use the 2-bucket method with grit guards in the bucket, so that way after you use the grit guards, no dirt comes back up on your rag. The next step I use the Griot's paint prep. It also removes grease, film, waxes, sealants. I spray it on. Then I wipe it gently with my gloves on. That way it helps get in the paint there. Then after you do that, you want to let it soak for a little while, then spray it off. That way you get everything off the panel. After the paint prep settles in, you want to spray it off. I'm just using my hose, I'm not using a pressure washer. Make sure you get all the suds out of there. Then we move on to the decontamination stage where I use iron and fallout remover. You spray it on. It gets all the iron out of it. You can also use a tar remover, but I just got this painted, so I don't have to worry about that right now. After a few minutes, it'll start to turn discolored, usually on purple or red. You want to rub it in, let it soak on there. It gets all the iron deposits on there. You want a perfectly clean panel before you do correction. And after you get it all rubbed in, let it soak for about 2 or 3 minutes. You spray it off, and you move on to the next part. Another thing I wanted to show you is before I even started this, when you put the water on, it all ran off because it did have a glaze on it. But now it's not running off; it's just staying on there. That means that all the waxes and sealants are gone. And so the next part I do is I dry the car off. I use a Griot's drying towel. You just slide it across. These work really, really well. I like using these. Less chance of scratching. Just wipe it across. Yeah, this works really, really well. I like it better than a chamois. It soaks up a lot better and usually does the whole car with no problems. The next part in the decontamination process is the clay bar. So you want to spray some quick spray on it. It's considered clay lube. All this is a quick detailer. I make my own out of NOR. I mix it 8 ounces of ONR with 1 gallon of distilled water, and it makes your own clay lube or your detailing spray instead of having to buy $10 a bottle. Get your clay bar. You want to make sure it's all lubed up. That way it'll smooth across and just gets anything impacted in the paint, like tar, bugs. You want to go across the whole car and do this. You just gotta go very gently, and it picks up. This won't probably pick up much since I haven't drove it much and got to paint it and clean it all the time, so there probably isn't much on there, but showing as an example. And once you finish the part, you want to get your rag. Just wipe it off. Always use a microfiber. Works the best. And after it dries, you'll have a glass smooth finish. You'll be able to glide your hand right across, it'll feel like glass. Next step in the decontamination process is the IPA wipe down. Isopropyl alcohol and water. I usually use distilled water. It's the best. You can either use 50-50 or you can use 25% alcohol and 75% water. It's up to you. All you do is spray it on. It's the final wipe down before the paint correction. It flashes quickly. I also wanted to mention on the clay bar that if you drop the clay bar on the ground, you might as well throw it away, because it'll pick up stuff, and you put it back on the paint, it'll even scratch it even worse. Then you'll have to start with a new one. And also, you don't want to do this in the sun like I'm doing. I'm just doing it so you'll be able to see the scratches and swirls and stuff before I start. But I'll pull it in the shade, because you never want to do paint correction in direct sunlight, because a lot of the products don't like to work in the sun too well. After IPA wiped down, we're gonna inspect it. There's some swirl marks and scratches. I don't know if you can see it. It's freaking reflection, and the flashlight don't want to work too well. But there's a lot of holograms. After I got this painted, they buffed it out with a rotary and left all kinds of swirl marks and holograms. And that's why I want to get out, because when the sun hits it, it freaking annoys at me. It looks horrible in the sun. Yeah, you can see it right there. Reflection. We want to get that out. Kind of dull right there. We're going to start on the paint correction. When you first start out with the fresh pad, you always want to prime it. So you just put the cream on it, go all the way around the cream. And I use the Griot's creams. This is the low compound. You always want to start out the lowest possible first. And if you need more, you get a heavier pad or go up a cream for heavier compound. What you want to do is spread it out. You're working 2x2 sections. Get all that cream out there. You don't want to sling it around everywhere. Then you go on low speed and you want to spread it around. Ready, you want to crank it up. You don't want to pull it off too early, because the cream will fly everywhere if there's enough on there. I'm gonna get a towel. I use a lot of the Rag Company towels. This is the Royale. They work pretty good for this. Yeah, what I like about the Boss creams, it gives you a pad to start with. The orange label goes with the orange pad. The white label goes with the white pad. It makes it really, really nice. It wipes off really nice and easy. Doesn't fling a bunch of stuff everywhere when you're drying it off. It's expensive, but it's well worth it. Try to look at the panel, see how far we got. I took all the swirls out, that's for sure. Sometimes I go over with a heavier compound just because I want to try to get everything out of it. I'm going to bring you in, try to see the light. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's reflection off this car. But the swirl marks, came out pretty good over here. Most of the scratches and everything's gone. That's the problem about doing this outside, is the reflection. Can't get much light off this flashlight. I ended up going to back to the white pad with a little heavier compound and got all of it out now. It came really, really good. Yeah, with this black car, this Lincoln, the paint is just, it's still hard on it. Some soft paints will come out real good, and the harder paints, it just takes forever. And this is a hard paint, so it's just taking me a long time to get through this. So I just go to the white cutting pad with the fast correcting cream. The next step up will be a microfiber. This stuff works really, really well. I like it. So I'm gonna do a whole panel and come back. Alright, I finished doing the compound with the fast correcting cream. Most of the swirls are gone. There's a few tiny scratches in there, but they're pretty deep. So the microfiber is gonna have to come out for it, but I don't know if you can see. Now we're gonna start on the perfecting cream. I already got the pad prime, so I'm just gonna put a few dots there. That's all you really need. You don't need a whole lot of stuff. We'll keep it spread out on low. When you're done, you want to wipe it off. When you do each pass, you want to overlap it by 50%. So that way you make sure you get everything. Perfecting cream pretty much just corrects a little bit of stuff that's left over. It has a little bit of abrasives in it. Not a whole lot, not like the compounds do. That's all you gotta do. That part's done. On to the next one. Right after you're done using the perfecting cream and you wiped it off, right before the sealant, you want to do another IPA wipe down to get all the polish and the compound oils off of it, so the sealant will stick. Have a better bond and last longer. It dries up pretty quick and makes it smooth. And the last step in this process will be the sealant. What you want to do is butter the pad up. We'll smooth it all around. You only got to do this the first time. And the rest, you just put a couple dots on it and it should be good to go. You don't need a big coat. You want to spread it on low. See how heavy it is when you first prime it. Crank it up to about 4. Put the sealant on. That's it. Just get your towel. Just start buffing it off, and there's your sealant. It's in there. I'll apply a wax later. I usually let this set overnight, the sealant. I'll let it bond real good, then I'll add a wax over top of it. Just wipe it off and the finish is done. That's how it'll look. All nice and glossy. See the reflection real good. And and most of the swirl bars, they came out pretty good. Try to get the flashlight here. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see anything, it's just a reflection. Yeah, it turned out really good. A lot better than it was with all them swirls. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, the Greo system does really, really well. So I just gotta finish the car, and I plan on doing the whole car, so it's all gonna be nice once I'm done.